All right. Howdy, howdy. Today is Wednesday, September 25th. Thank you for tuning in. We have finally got our systems and our technology infrastructure dialed in. We're excited to be sharing with you real estate market information with you here through our video broadcast series, if you will, via the good old interwebs, internet. My name's Chance, and I'm one of the few local agents that actually lives here in Broken Bow and specializes in these luxury vacation Airbnb cabins. This video will be the first of many, ultimately as a series to inform you and update you about Broken Bow real estate. I'm an active licensed real estate agent in Texas and Oklahoma, working the Broken Bow real estate market predominantly. Now, of course, the dynamic in Broken Bow is that a good portion of the cabin owners and cabin investors here are from North Texas. So I'm bound to touch on the North Texas real estate market periodically as well. I've worked with many investors over the years. I invest in real estate personally as well. I've developed a really keen eye for the mechanics of real estate investing. So we have a ton to cover. The market is always moving. We're just going to get right into it. Our objective with these videos is to simplify your Broken Bow cabin investing journey and keep you informed in the Broken Bow real estate market. So our first series of streams and videos will be us browsing the variety of cabins on the market for sale, active at this time. I'm going to give you an idea of what I'm looking at and how I'm thinking as an agent in the know, boots on the ground, as if you're a buyer or a seller client of ours. So I have a handy dandy Realtor.com website pulled up. I have a screen share I'm prepared to share with you here, and I'm going to kind of thumb through a handful of the active current listings, these cabins that are on the market for sale right now, and kind of share with you how I would evaluate them, how I might favor them, or which ones I may overlook, which ones might be great deals, which ones are even steals, which ones are fairly priced, which ones would be a project. Eventually we can cover things like rental projections, keep you updated on interest and mortgage rates, kind of give you an idea of what are some of the major local attractions that really draw both buyers and guests up here. Kind of current news, current developments, whether it's roadways being worked on or new businesses and attractions or amenities, those sorts of things. Generally, our goal, again, through this video series and these streams is to really just keep you updated on the Broken Bow. And now you may hear the name Hochatown, Broken Bow and Hochatown real estate market. Our goal is to keep you updated here. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to get right into it. And here is a screen share of my Realtor.com. Let's see. Franny. There we go. Alrighty. So, Realtor.com, probably my favorite third-party consumer search site. The reason I'm starting here is, frankly, the way that they have their listings laid out and the photos and information. Obviously, I mean, Realtor.com has to be a multi-billion-dollar company, so no shortage of resources on their graphic design and overall ease of layout and customer experience, etc. Of course, you've probably heard of Zillow and Trulia, and virtually all of these real estate agents and brokerages, of course, have their own independent websites as well. Suffice to say, you know, Realtor.com is probably going to be up there at the top of the list in terms of ease and ability to use. So anyways, enough of a plug on Realtor.com. So we're going to structure a search here. Let's see, we're going to start it 250 and really no maximum. Honestly, it probably didn't do much, us saying start at 250. And so as you can see here, I believe you might be able to see here, 620 homes or 620 listings. So that's quite a lot. For example, if I said beginning at 500,000 with no maximum, there's 462. So that really didn't shave off a ton. So this is kind of, I would say 500,000 is about the entrance into the market. Don't get me wrong, there's a few options between 300 and 400, mostly one bedrooms. You start to see some decent options for 2 bedrooms around 4 and then 500,000. So market really begins at 4 to 500,000. Right now, there's 450 to 550 cabins on the market for sale, which is, again, quite a lot. In existence, a lot of people may not know this in particular, although there's about 4,000, 4,500 of these cabins in existence in the greater area of Broken Bow and Hochatown. So before we know it, by the time you're seeing this video on here, it may very well be about 5,000 cabins in existence. I will say, again, at the time of this recording, as of September 25th, my sentiment, and I feel like most any other agent, most anyone with eyes and ears and in reality up here understands that construction has slowed way down, which is really good. And in fact, that's a result of these builders and developers and investors and buyers and everyone realizing, whoa, if we're going to play musical chairs, I want a seat and I want to be able to sit down if the music stops. And so they've realized that let's just say there's enough inventory now. I really don't think there's too much inventory. To make it clear, from time to time, I hear folks indicate or say things like they believe it's overbuilt, it's been overbuilt. And I think they feel that way because they're seeing prices somewhat come down, sale prices and rental prices come a little bit down. I really don't think that we've built too many cabins. It's just that we've built so many cabins so quickly that, of course, that's going to affect the sale market and the rental market. So anyways, millions of visitors coming through Broken Bow, Hochatown annually. Of course, not all of these millions are staying in these very cabins, but I would venture to say a good majority are. Most folks, most groups are coming up, hanging out for 1, 2, 2.5 days. Most of the people that have been here, these locals, longtime investors, or even folks that are living here in the county, I believe that they would agree that it kind of seems like just as this place continues to grow and mature, more and more folks are coming from further, staying longer. Of course, there's just more and more to do, more activities and more restaurants and little shopping things, or between stuff for kids to do, like little, go-kart racing or zip lining. And of course, the lake is really and has always been the first main draw up here. State park, hiking trails, ATV, UTV riding, horseback riding. So a plethora of many options for guys, for the ladies, for kids, young and old, all of that. So anyways, super cool place to come hang out, come vacation, come get away from the Dallas suburbs or the Metroplex suburbs, wherever you may be coming from, whether it's Oklahoma City, Arkansas, some of the surrounding states. And with that being said, anyways, back to our listings here on Realtor.com. So again, market, I would say kind of starts around that 400,000 figure. Just as, again, we've kind of begun our video series here, I'll start sharing some random facts or aspects about the market that maybe you already know, maybe you've already heard of, this sort of stuff. But really, I'm just kind of trying to paint a picture to share with you the landscape and the market up here in Broken Bow. So what I was going to say was, folks don't know that within the what's called city limits or town limits of Broken Bow, which is, most folks are driving from the south. Most folks drive north to Broken Bow from Dallas or from elsewhere. Most folks are, again, coming north. City and downtown Broken Bow is essentially where you come to the Walmart on your right, Pruitt's grocery store on your right, and that bank on the northeast quadrant. I forget the name of the bank. Nonetheless, that's city town limits. And so there's ordinance preventing and prohibiting you from purchasing property for short-term rental in the town limits. So you can't do that. There's resources, and we have a map we could share with you if you want to reach out and actually understand where that boundary line is definitively. That's something to take into account. I find most agents up here actually know and understand that. So you should be good. You should be good just understanding that again, ultimately, if you're browsing on the market though, and it looks remotely like a vacation cabin, odds are, I mean, 99.999% of the time, if it looks like a cabin and it's priced above, I'd say 300,000-400,000, odds are it's in this area that you're completely fine for short-term rentals. So again, as you can see the screen here, I'm gonna, just for fun, show you some of the highest priced listings in Broken Bow. Again, just for fun, we have 180 acres here, raw land, Eagle Mountain Trail. That's probably over on the west side of Highway 259. We have 46.88 acres for 5.75 million. Let's see, that's on Highway 259. That's an interesting property. What is that, like almost 100,000 an acre? A little bit more. 5.3 million for, they're advertising a 2-bed, 1-bath house here on Sherwood. Neat older cabin, tin roof. Definitely a traditional, tried and true cabin. So this is indicative of what you'd expect to find in a cabin, I'd say, built before 2010. Even some of the cabins built around 2011, 12, 13, they look similarly in traditional fashion. Not a ton of natural light, not a ton of windows, just kind of a tried and true hunting cabin. Interesting, this property is pending, so they're actually, you never know until it actually closes out what they actually sold for. Although, let's see here, been on the market not a full year. Listed initially for 3.99 million, 120 acres. So I should be better than math at this, or better at math than this. Let's see here. So 399 divided by 120. So $33,000 an acre. So it'll be interesting to see if over the next year or two they develop this and turn this into some sort of development here. I find that as far as these vacation cabins, most folks are really looking for more trees than this. particularly these pine trees, a lot of people like. So anyways, I mean, this could make a good housing development up here. So this is probably one of the most remarkable cabins I've ever laid my eyes on. Hats off to the Miss Paula Beauchamp on listing this behemoth. Yep, Miss Paula. Beautiful, beautiful cabin. So first of all, 7-bed, 7.5 bath, sometimes this 0.5. I've always been taught that after the decimal, for every 0.1 indicates a half bath. I really don't think this is 5 half baths. I almost imagine this is 7.5 baths though. So 7 beds, 7.5 bath, probably 7,450 square foot on 9.06 acres. Just a tremendous, tremendous, lavish, seemingly very well crafted property. Beautiful, beautiful. A+ location off of Sugarberry Trail, the famous Sugarberry Trail. I would say about as central and as desirable of a location as you could find up here, smack dab in the middle of Ho Chi Town. While we're talking about that, so if you have any questions about, oh, here we are, hochitown.gov. If you have interest on, where are they? Maps, town maps. I could point you to hochitown.gov/town-maps for the town limits map. And then there's other maps. So anyways, this is a good resource for future reference. Back to realtor.com. The most lavish luxury cabin up here in Broken Bow, 72 Red Flower Trail, listed just shy of 3.95. Reach out to us if you have any questions about this cabin. Would love to show it to you. Love to schedule a private tour or even a virtual video tour. Would love to help answer any questions you have about this property. I think you should just buy it, but anyways, look at that island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9 folks. I mean, at least all of those chairs. The natural beams. Love the Austin stone or limestone. I'm sure that is. The accent walls they have in here, and the furniture seems very high quality. All of the work seems very, very well done. Beautiful choices of accent walls here. You can tell no expense spared virtually. That shower glass, just super tidy and clean. These deco tiles are nice. Modern look with the fan and the occasional accent wall painted here. Nice curtains, linens, or would you call those linens? I should know better. I like that blue. Chandelier's nice. Whatever the ladies want. Let's see. Nice splash of modern with the open concept here underneath the bathroom vanities. Definitely sleek, modern faucet look. Beautiful lighting behind the mirrors in front of the stone. Just an impeccable attention to detail. Built-in bunk beds here for, looks like that's probably 2 queens. Could be even 2 queens on top. Yeah, probably 2 queens on bottom, 2 fulls on top. shoot, might even be kings down there. Anyways, plenty of space. Again, almost 5,000 square foot. Just an absolutely remarkable property here. Probably the most remarkable property you could find in Broken Bow. Again, with the 9 acres, that's just a very unique aspect about this, where they've essentially assembled a good handful of the lots in this cul-de-sac. So absolutely love it. Again, a garage here is super duper rare. So this cabin would accommodate to quite large families, quite large gatherings, of course, but also I would say your automobile and supercar, sports car aficionados, or luxury car enthusiasts and hobbyists, between Mercedes or a McLaren or Ferrari, could come up here with not too much hassle and not have to worry about scraping the bumper. Again, if you have a Ferrari, Lamborghini, come on up here, come check this cabin out. This would be a great option, with the asphalt and the driveway all the way to the garage here. This is a very rare feature about this cabin here. So back to our listings. At the top of the price point, you could purchase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiny homes on just over 2 acres. Let's see, 110 acres for $5 million, 127 acres for $2.5 million on Indian Highway 144. What I will say is this Indian Highway 144 is, it's probably a good 20 minutes north and a little bit west of Hochatown. Still a Broken Bow address. It's a good ways away from the center of Hochatown and center of Broken Bow and the commercialization and what everyone wants to do up in Broken Bow. So again, it kind of seems like things are moving on up that direction, developing north, and there are just some incredible views and scenery to be had around here. And again, speaking of scenery, we have this 561, a Woodland Bluff. Another fine option if you're just absolutely adamant about an incredible view. This is a very well designed, very well thought out property, just impeccable views. That's definitely the selling point to this cabin. Just unparalleled views for miles and miles and miles and miles. So wonderful choice of materials and design and furniture. Phenomenal cabin. Just their string lights up here, definitely not cheap, and quite a craftsman's touch, if you will. The floating stairs, definitely it's kept its or they've designed it with, I'd say, certainly a cabin theme, a modern, elegant lodge and cabin theme. So gotta love this cabin. Now, a cabin like this, I mean, again, because of its unparalleled views, it might be, how would I say this? I really think this cabin could gross near 200,000. I think if the management company really just knocked it out the park. I mean, I've seen, I swear, financials on cabins about this size, built about as well. Gross, near and on track for about that $250,000 a year. I've seen them. Don't get me wrong, it's not the majority. It's not just any cabin this large could pull that off. Again, because the reality is, large cabins are a dime a dozen. Nice cabins are a dime a dozen. Nice, large, superbly well-crafted cabins on an 1 out of 1,000 lots with a view like this is a very far and few between. So, built in 2021. Let's see here. been on the market 21 days. I believe this one's been on and off the market. That's not uncommon. A lot of these cabins have been on and off the market several times over the past few years. It's not common necessarily that in most real estate markets, particularly a traditional or mostly residential real estate market, wouldn't turn over and trade so often as, let's say, an Airbnb market like this. Now, because these owners do not live in these properties, their kids are not going to these Broken Bow schools, et cetera, they don't really have any personal items there, et cetera. It's easier for them to make sense of listing the property for sale while it's also on the market for rent, and are just open to maybe selling if they can receive that certain price, et cetera. So I don't think that there's really any reason to be concerned because a property has been bought and sold a few times over the past 5-7 years. That's really been common up here. So anyways, here's another one in that same area as that previous cabin I was showing with the view. I'm pretty sure built by the same folks. Pretty unique feature with this catwalk here with the lighting. That's just incredible cabin here. Love this landing here. That makes it, I don't know if they necessarily designed it this way with, let's say, wheelchair folks in mind, but I think they're heading in that right direction. That's actually something I was thinking of the other day as I was driving around viewing cabins. I think that there's just not enough cabins that are wheelchair accessible, accessible for folks with disabilities, all of that sort of stuff. There's not a ton of cabins that really go above and beyond to accommodate that. I really think that's an underserved segment of the market, such that if you were going to build, I really would not recommend. And while I talk and rant, I'm going to continue to browse through these photos, and I'm just not going to explain them because I know you have eyes and you've seen property before and you know what a kitchen is and you know what a bathroom is. But anyways, wheelchair ramps and things like that, even handrails throughout the cabin and the house are wheelchair accessible and compliant, are really underserved in this market. That's where I was going with that, was to say that I wouldn't really recommend most anyone just build in this market. There's clearly enough inventory to take advantage of and shop from, and kind of like if you were to consider going to purchase a new vehicle, negotiating with the dealer about what they have on the lot, you're probably better off and going to get a better deal than custom ordering and having to wait 2-3 weeks and fill out that spec sheet, and they're going to charge you for each option here, option there, and they know they've got you over the barrel because there wasn't anything on the lot that satisfied you. You just had to build. You had to build it your way, have it just the way you wanted, with these color wheels and these size wheels, and this pinstripe here and this logo here, and all this sort of stuff. So all of that to say, there's no shortage of inventory, no shortage of existing cabins to choose from on the market for sale right now. And as many conversations as I have with folks shopping the market, buying a cabin up here in Broken Bow, a lot of folks kind of wonder why there's so many cabins on the market for sale right now. Again, I alluded to that a few minutes ago about how with these owners, these property owners, cabin owners not living in them, it's just easier for them to make sense of selling or having it on the market for sale while it's on the market for rent. That doesn't impede on the rental experience. A lot of these cabins on the market for sale don't even have signs in front of them. It's kind of 50-50 as to if that was actually their choice or just the agent not putting a sign out front. Who knows? But nonetheless, having a cabin on the market for sale doesn't impede on the guest experience. because of course us as agents, we're gonna before taking a client to a cabin, we're gonna reach out to the listing agent and or their assistant and just see if it's booked. We kind of understand and know that it's a good likelihood the cabin is actually booked between Thursday and Sunday. So no one's just going to show up and expect to see a cabin. We're going to reach out through the proper channels and determine quickly if the cabin's booked or not with guests and go around the guests, or rather after the guests leave. So anyways, another fine option for with some bananas views up here, 42 Sweet Magnolia. I will say that $5.99 a square foot is definitely a lofty price, a lofty price per square foot. Not hating on anyone. I think though that's a little bit above the comp value. Now again, comps, it kind of depends on how you run the comps and the data and how you look at it. That is definitely not an averagely built cabin, not an average lot, a larger than average lot, as a matter of fact, with a stupendous view, which is by no means average. So just take that with a grain of salt. So anyways, we'll see if I can kind of point out a few other cool cabins, and we'll wrap this up here in a few and leave a ton of material for the next streams that we have here. So I like this cabin's design. I like this black look, and this is surely stained to some degree, but let's just call it a natural board still. So a 9-bed, 10.5 bath cabin, 5,600 square foot on just over 2 acres for $1.823 million, listed by the lovely Ashley. Let's see here. So concrete floors, a lot of folks love that. Owners and guests alike, I'd say. Let's see, they've kept a lot of natural tones in the tile above the fireplace, in their artwork and stuff like this, their decor, a lot of neutral tones, neutral and natural. I would name this cabin if I was to buy this. So been on the market 165 days, $324 a square foot. So frankly, and a lot of people that are shopping Broken Bow probably know this and have had experience with this and their personal endeavors, investing in real estate and or their own homes they've bought in the past. And so as a property gets larger by square footage, there's essentially economies of scale that you would say bring the price per square foot down. So as an extreme example, if you will, if you had 1,000 square foot cabin as compared to a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot cabin, you're gonna notice a difference in the price per square foot, because that smaller cabin, especially a 1-story, I mean, it's easier if we use a 1-story versus a 2-story example, where that 1-story has the same foundation cost, the same roof cost as compared to a 2-story. So let's say we have a 1-story, 1,000 square foot, another 2-story that's a 1,000 square foot footprint, but it's 1,000 down and 1,000 up, right? So total of 2,000 square foot. Of course, there's additional lumber and framing and additional siding and insulation and all of this, right? But there's essentially no more footprint of foundation, no more of a lot cost that's averaged in, no more of a roof cost. You're probably going to have a little more of an AC or heating and cooling need. No probably about it. You're definitely going to have more of a heating and cooling need, although some of those costs are kind of averaged in. So that's really why you see the price per square foot go down as as the square footage goes up. So all of that to say, I think this 120 or so dollars a square foot is really in the sweet spot. I think this one's fairly priced for what it is. Now, truthfully, I think there's probably more room for negotiation, being it's been on the market for 6 months. Um, Most agents would tell you, and I would agree with this, that the average cabin is no longer selling in a day or a week. The average cabin that sells, not all of them are selling. The average cabin that sells is selling in 6 to 9 months. I'd say we can show and share with you some data here before long, to kind of give you some context there. Although again, this property's not been on the market too long. I just say that to say I have to assume that listing agents and these agents that I work with and cooperate with are bound to see these videos. So again, just want to be very clear that I'm not insinuating that this property's been on the market too long, although it's not a fresh, brand new listing on the market, right? So I think there could be a little negotiability. Only one way to find out. So this is a really, really cool style. Now, over 4,000 square foot, they could have put another bedroom and bathroom in there. I know that would have messed with the feng shui and the flow. Although again, really cool photos, awesome style. That's a cool contemporary modern style. Kind of curious how long you think this style will be in trend. If maybe you'd be willing to like put a comment wherever you're seeing this video, let us know. Let us know how long you think this will be an attractive choice of trend as far as design and aesthetic, etc. So let's see, it's after 5. I know I've got to let Miss Franny get on the road, so we'll open this can back up here soon and see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Chance with We Sell Broken Bow at Real Broker, and look forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you.